Hello, it's Bonnie, and this is our very first ever bonus clip. It's for episode 115, the conversation I had with Autumm Caines. And in it, we talked a little bit about conferences that we have attended and are planning on attending, and also a way to attend conferences in a really unique way through virtually connecting. I hope you enjoy this bonus clip with Autumm Caines, and please reach out to me and let me know what you think about these bonus clips. I've been inspired by the Research in Action podcast that puts out bonus clips. Katie Linder does a great job giving us even more than our fill with the episodes that she does, and I was inspired to make sure we got this audio clip from Autumm and I talking back into the show, at least in some way. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time. We got a question from a listener. Her name is Heather, and I asked you permission in advance to ask this question, and I'm going to pose some answers to it as well. She's asking about conferences, and since I haven't attended a lot of them, I thought it might be fun for both of us to answer her question. She says, there are so many conferences that you and your guests reference in your podcast. Would you be willing to talk in a show about what you're planning on attending this coming year, what you wish you could attend? I find them to be so hit and miss as far as forward-thinking sessions. What conferences are worth the time/money commitment? And I mentioned to you that, and I've talked about on the show, that I really enjoyed going to the Lilly conference this past year. There's one, I live out in Southern California, so there's one in Newport Beach. They actually run, I believe, 5 of them across the country. And they all have this similar mission of really wanting to gather people together with a heart for teaching. And I thought that was really worth the money and the time investment. It was so fun just to get together with a group of people and be meeting such diverse people from all these different disciplines, but everyone there wants to get better at their teaching. There was a sense of humility with the people that I got a chance to meet. I know you've attended or presented at one before as well.
I did. A couple of years ago, I got the opportunity to present at one. It was just outside of DC, I want to say. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It was really great to go to a conference where there was just such a teaching focus and so many people that were just in love with teaching. One of the things I also remember too is I don't remember a huge vendor presence, but they had a whole table full of books. And they were talking about different books, and I think there was a raffle with some books there as well. It was a really good conference.
Yeah. The other one I'm planning on attending, actually, I was accepted to present a couple of sessions at the Online Learning Consortium Accelerate Conference, which this year is in Florida. Maybe it's there every year. I don't know. It's my first year that I'll be attending that one. And that's going to be in Orlando. And so I'll be attending that one. And then on my wish list that I'll be applying for funding is to go either in, I guess it'll be the summer of 2017, to the Digital Pedagogy Lab. And those happen in a couple different places, in fact, around the world. So I'm going to let you share about that because you know a lot more about that one than I do.
Well, I was just in Virginia because I was the Virtually Connecting Fellow. So Heather, one of the things I would say is virtually connecting is a great way for you to get a taste of lots of different conferences. So what we do is we go and hold small group conversations with folks that are presenting at the conference. And we just did this at Digital Pedagogy Lab Institute. And that is a very interesting experience. It's not like a lot of the other conferences that I've gone to. The first thing that I'll focus on is the format. So most conferences that I go to, you go and there's plenary sessions, and then there's breakout concurrent workshops or sessions that you go to. Digital Pedagogy Lab Institute usually has specific cohorts. So I was in the action track with Audrey Waters. So I was with Audrey and my cohort for 5 days during that time. And when I was in PEI, it was Sean Michael Morris and Bonnie Stewart. And I was in the digital literacies track. So you're with your track and you're with your facilitators for that track for the whole time that you're in the conference. And then that is broken up by plenary session, which is like a keynote speaker, and then other workshops that you break out to. But you always kind of return back to your cohort, and you really get a sense of community that way. And you really feel embedded with the person that is running the track. And it's just a really wonderful kind of experience that I haven't experienced at other conferences. Other conferences are great because you meet a lot of people, but you don't really get to be embedded like that and get that sense of community.
Are there any other conferences you want to mention that you're planning on attending this coming year or are on your wish list?
I'm thinking about going to Open Ed coming up in November, also ELI in the spring. And another conference that's not coming up right now, but that I attended this past summer that I'd recommend is the New Media Consortium. That was a great conference. It was in Rochester, New York. We did virtually connecting there as well. And I just really appreciated, it's heavy on the tech, right? I mean, it's new media, right? I did virtual reality for the first time ever, right? So they've got the fun toys that you can play with, that kind of thing. But still, again, that focus, lots of people who are using this technology in their classrooms and how they're actually teaching with it.
That one I got to attend the virtually connecting session with Gardner Campbell, and it was really fun.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation to get to have. And it always feels weird when I first start attending those in the first 5 minutes because I think, oh, this feels like too big of a juxtaposition. I don't know what they've been talking about at the conference, so I have this sense of panic. Oh no, must sound smart, must sound informed. And it just the way that they're set up, it's not meant to be that I should know what was happening at that particular new media consortium. And the informality of it is really its truest strength, I think, to help whatever is going to emerge in that moment. And you don't necessarily, there was another one I attended where I had no idea, Gardner Campbell, I knew who he was, but there was another woman I had never heard from before, but still gleaned such great insights. And you don't have to know about what's going on in the conference to participate in a virtually connecting session, which is fabulous.
I'll say that it's been a huge learning experience for me. It was very intimidating for me the first couple of times that I did a virtually connecting session when I didn't know who it was that I was talking to. But the thing was, I learned who that person was. And then I went and looked up the work that they were doing. I read some articles that they had written, and I started to learn who some of the players in the field were. And I felt like I had had this experience with them. And it just really helped to grow me as a professional. Mm-hmm. I feel like I got to just learn and meet so many interesting people. And so, yeah, I'd recommend it for anyone who's looking to learn a little bit more about this field and learn who some of the people that are, attending these conferences and who are having these conversations are.
I so enjoyed this part of the conversation with Autumm, and hope many of you will go to the show notes at teachinginhighered.com/115 and let us know what conferences you're planning on attending this year, and also recommend that you go over and check out Virtually Connecting. Thanks once again to Autumm for the conversation on episode 115 that extended over into this bonus clip. I'll see you all next week for episode 116. It's a great one. See you soon.